So 2 plus 2 can equal 5, and 9 plus 4 can sometimes equal 1. I know, it's crazy, but in some forms of abstract algebra and modular arithmetic, which can have circular equations, it can happen. Really simple example would be a clock. Once it hits 12, the next value an hour can take is 1. It wraps around. So 10 o'clock plus 5 is 3 o'clock. So 10 plus 5 equals 3, not 15 as we're used to. So outside of something like that, 2 plus 2 does equal 4. Always has, always will. If you have 2 units of something, and then you get 2 more, you have 4 units. You can call those numbers whatever you want, but the idea and the objective truth behind it remains the same. Now, those who argue that 2 plus 2 equal 5 generally are not referring to something like this. And no, that's not a joke. Some people have been arguing about this. I am sure you've seen it. They're claiming that it's the oppressive class that gets to decide what these objective truths are, and since critical theory opposes objective truth, they are no fan of this. They say we're forcing our preferred reality on everyone else. This goes against people's lived experiences, they say. Now, first off, we are using Arabic numerals, which didn't come from white people. If we were really concerned with white people being the foundation of everything, and being viewed as the purveyors of truth, I would think we would have come up with something else, but we didn't, and who cares that we didn't? I don't waste my time or lose any sleep over this. The numerals we use came from the Middle East. Iraq in the 11th century was a bastion of science, free thought, and rather liberal ideas relative to the rest of the world at that time. A lot of amazing things came out of that time and place, and credit should go where it's due. I have no problem with that. So now, since we use those numerals, I guess somehow we are forcing this down everyone's throat. It wasn't that this was a radically beneficial mode of thinking and a massively beneficial tool for scientists and thinkers to use. Well, the good thing about being objective is that you can do some fact-checking, which some of these critical theorists have tried to do. For example, they say that some cultures will say 2 plus 2 equals 5 because if they have 2 knots on 2 ropes and they tie it together, there's a 5th knot there then, and they therefore consider 2 plus 2 to equal 5. Now, this is what I've read some critical theorists say, and I'm taking their word for it, which is probably a mistake. But that is not 2 plus 2 equals 5. That is 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5. They've added another unit in the form of a knot. What I just did right there, that's called being objective, thinking rationally and clearly. So it all becomes ridiculous, and this chaotic way of thinking is very familiar when taking the rest of critical theory into account. After all, one of their prescriptions for its practitioners is to be critical of everything, hence critical theory. Complain about everything, even if you don't think there's a problem, even if the evidence suggests that there is no problem, still complain. Any objective fact that proves us wrong will be discarded, and we will merely state that objectivity is the tool of the oppressor and we're safe. And that is precisely what they've done and what they are continuing to do. There's no need for them to argue or to try and convince anyone that they're right. It reminds me a lot of Hegel, actually. Fundamental, easy-to-understand truths that have had real-life positive consequences and have brought clarity in everyday life are arbitrarily upended in what is known as obscurantism, being needlessly and fairly often tremendously baffling and disorienting to the point where it looks like the rantings of a person gone mad, and who knows, maybe that is what's happened. Go read some Hegel and see if you don't feel that way. It's terribly written, although it was translated from German to English, but honestly, that's no excuse. There's plenty of things translated throughout history from German to English that's easily understood. So it really just comes across as insane rambling. But the point is, Hegel influenced Marx, and Marx obviously influenced a great number of people, almost all of which are critical theorists, and it shows. It's filled with things that no rational person would waste their time with. And it's really sad that we are now forced to waste our time with this because it seems to have caught on with some people. But I'm here to tell them that 2 plus 2 actually does equal 4. Pick up 2 rocks in one hand and then 2 rocks in the other. How many rocks do you have? It's not 5. But that's all for now. Just like, subscribe, share, and take it easy.